Hey guys, Chuke here with Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. Doing a little bit of a collaboration video this week with Crusinglealea. Now I got the opportunity to meet Chuck from Crusinglealea, and it's a pretty interesting story. He started off in Hawaii and lived on a sailboat and did years of videos doing that, and then he moved to Southeast Alaska, and he of course took his sailboat, him and his wife, traveled across the ocean in a sailboat. So I got to talk to him about guns and knives and boats, and we had dinner one night. It was pretty cool meeting him. So we're going to do a little collaboration video, and we're going to talk about he's going to talk about some more things about guns on boats and how he deals with that. But I'm going to talk about the top 4 guns for boats, the best guns that you could have on a boat, that I believe, at least. Now, I've only done a little bit of commercial fishing. I'm most of a landlubber, but I did grow up in Homer, Alaska, the quaint little drinking village with a fishing problem. I did some weekend openers as a teenager, and then later on I spent a summer on a tender vessel. I didn't really care for it that much, but I got a little taste of it. But I have consulted with some of my friends from high school who have been commercial fishermen for decades, so a big shout out to Kale. I talked to him about this too, and he kind of confirmed some of my ideas of what I thought the best guns for Alaska would be. Now, that being said, you have to be careful about international law. I'm looking out my window, I can actually see Russia from where I'm sitting here now. So if you go too far out into the bay there, you could get into Russian territory, and then you could get in trouble for having a gun. So always be aware of your surroundings. If you're on the East Coast or whatever, New York, they've got a lot different laws than we do here in Alaska. So you want to be careful, know your laws first of all. So I'm going to start off with the 4th most important one and then go down to the 1st. So the 4th most important gun, I believe, for a boat would be a 22. Now, my go-to 22 is kind of like a 1022, a Ruger 1022. But now that I think about it, maybe an old pump 22, an old Winchester or something, even a single action, breakaway 22 or something might be better. But anyways, the reason why it would be a good choice for a boat is it's so versatile and it's a total survival gun. You could have several buckets of ammunition that you could keep on the boat. You just keep it in dry storage in buckets or whatever. It's very cheap and it's very affordable. You'd be able to, if you get on land somewhere, you could survive with a 22 if you needed to. People take big game with 22. It's happened before. So that would be my number 4, and I'd probably choose a Ruger 1022, I guess we'll say. So number 3, this may be a little controversial. I'm going to choose a Glock 20 10mm. Now, one of the reasons I say this is because some of these fishing charter guys and other guys I know that go out in Homer and fish halibut, they actually have 10mm, and it's a good round to plug into a halibut. These halibut, get 200-300 pounds, and when you pull them up, and they can hurt you, and when they slap their tail, they can crack your boat if you're not careful. These halibut are huge, so it's like a big piece of plywood you're pulling off the bottom of the ocean. But once they get up, they'll start flapping around. Just for safety reasons, you got to put a hole in their prehistoric teeny pea-sized brain if you could find it, and a 10mm is a good choice. You get some hollow points, blow a hole out in the brain area of the halibut, and make it chill out a little bit, stop flapping around. Then you gaff it, and a couple guys haul it on board. Those are the big halibuts. Now, it's kind of interesting because they say that these Glocks have been torture tested in seawater overnight, and then they pull them out and they function. The melanite, or whatever that stuff is on the finish, it does hold off rust very well, I believe, in salt water. But when you think about it, open up a Glock, there's a bunch of steel components in there too. So, eventually that's going to rust. Your springs are going to rust. So you want to take care of it, of course. And Crusinglealea will talk about taking care of guns too. But you want to keep it in a dry compartment, keep it oiled up. But surprisingly, that's number 3, would be a Glock 10 millimeter Glock 20. Number 2 is going to be a stainless Ruger revolver. Now, when I talked to my buddy Cale, he was like, anything stainless. And that's what I had seen before is, you know, stainless, of course, is going to do better in saltwater conditions. When I think of a classic Alaskan revolver, I'm thinking the Ruger Red Hawk 44 Alaskan. That's always been kind of what I consider a classic revolver. It's one of the most popular revolvers up here in Alaska. I've owned one before, had it in a chest holster. You know, my cousin down in Homer carries a Smith & Wesson 500 on his boat, and it's a stainless revolver as well. But anyways, any kind of stainless revolver I think is going to be a good choice. It's got a few less moving parts. Revolvers are real reliable. It's stainless steel, of course. You know, you want to keep it in a compartment too, keep it wiped down with oil. But if you have to go to land, you know, you could have a survival gun, especially for bears around here in Alaska. A lot of times you're going to shore, and especially on those coastal areas, there could be a brown bear. So I think a Ruger 44 Magnum in stainless steel would be my number 2 choice. And I've seen a lot of that on boats too. So that's what I'm sticking with. And the number 1 choice that I'm going to pick is a Mariner shotgun. Now, this is kind of a 2-part answer because my choice would be a Mossberg 500 Mariner that, you know, it's got that brushed steel, it's got stainless steel, 12 gauge shotgun. It's perfect for survival, great for bear protection. However, I am going to say, growing up on boats, by far the most popular gun that I've ever seen on a boat, I've seen it more times than any other gun, has been a 410 Snake Charmer. Now, they call it the Snake Charmer. You know, it's been around for decades. It's kind of like the Mossberg Mariner, but it's 410. It's got like this weird grip on it, but you see it on boats a lot, and I saw it a lot growing up because of the stainless steel. The Snake Charmer, I think it's a breakaway, you know, one-shot shotgun, but I mean, it's still going to work on your halibut, and you can use it as a survival gun if you go to shore as well. So I will say that that's going to be one of the most popular ones. You know, Cale mentioned that. He's probably used that on boats more than any other gun. But nowadays, I would probably use the Mossberg Mariner 500, so 12 gauge. So let me know what you guys think, if you guys disagree with me, and let's see what Crusinglealea has to say about guns on boats. All right, thanks guys. It's Chuke, your friend in the field.
Outdoor adventure. No.